Google just launched Nano Banana Pro and they are calling it a game changer, promising to generate more accurate, context-rich visuals based on enhanced reasoning, world knowledge, and real-time information. So we're going to put it to the test. How good is Nano Banana Pro actually? Is it really as revolutionary as Google claims, or is it just another overhyped AI release? We're about to find out. But here is the thing. You don't need to wait for official access or jump through hoops to try it. In this video, I am going to show you exactly how I am using Higgsfield to access Nano Banana Pro right now. And you can do the same. If you want to follow along and test this out yourself, just click the link in the description to get started with Higgsfield and unlock Nano Banana Pro today. So let's dive in. So this is the dashboard of Higgsfield. Now to start using Nano Banana Pro, the first thing you need to do is click on the image section right here. As soon as you click, this entire interface opens up. Nice, clean, simple. And from here, you can actually start using Nano Banana Pro properly. So the very first prompt I'm using is create an infographic about the future of renewable energy with stack text, icons, and multiple sections with clear headings and body text. Now why this prompt? Because this kind of prompt instantly reveals a model's real strength. It shows us how well the model renders text, how good it is at placing icons, how cleanly it arranges sections, and overall whether it can create a professional infographic layout or not. These are the areas where most AI models mess up, especially text consistency. So this test makes everything super clear right from the beginning. Once you enter your prompt, all you have to do is click this button. And this is where Higgsfield becomes really interesting because it doesn't give you just one model. It actually shows you all the available models at once, like Nano Banana Pro, Nano Banana, Seedream 4.0, and even GPT Image, and many more. Everything is right here in the same window. And the best part, you can generate outputs from all these models with the same prompt and compare them side by side. This means you don't have to guess which model is better. You don't have to switch between 5 different tabs or websites. So in this video, I am not just showing you Nano Banana Pro's output, I am showing you the results from 4 models using the exact same prompt. So let's start by selecting Nano Banana Pro from here. Once that's selected, I'm keeping the aspect ratio at 1:1 and I'm selecting the quality to 4K. And here is something really interesting that a lot of people don't know. On Higgsfield, you can actually use Nano Banana Pro completely free and unlimited for 1 whole year. This is 100% genuine. If I switch on this unlimited toggle, I won't have to spend any credits at all. The only small downside is that the image might take a little longer to generate, which is why I am keeping the toggle off for now. I will just click on generate normally, and honestly generating images doesn't even cost much. You can see right here, even in full 4K quality, Nano Banana Pro only takes 4 credits and other models usually take just 1 or 2 credits, so it's pretty affordable even without unlimited mode. Now look at this output. This is insane. The level of detail, the graphics, the icons, the futuristic style, everything looks absolutely mind-blowing. Let me zoom in so you can actually see the details clearly. Look at this text. It's so clean, perfectly visible, properly aligned, and the way it has organized the icons and graphics, genuinely impressive. This is honestly one of the biggest strengths of Nano Banana Pro. It understands structure, it understands layout, and it understands text. So yeah, Nano Banana Pro passed this test beautifully. Now let's try the exact same prompt on the other models and see how they perform. I will select Nano Banana from here, keep the same aspect ratio and hit generate again. Alright, so Nano Banana's output is not terrible, but it's definitely not great either. It's somewhere in the middle, not so good, not so bad. But compared to Nano Banana Pro, it clearly lacks detail and structure. Now let's test the same prompt on Seedream 4.0. Okay, wow, this is now very close to Nano Banana Pro. The layout is off, the text is messy, the visuals don't match the prompt properly. The difference is very obvious. Alright, let's select GPT Image and generate the same prompt once again. And yeah, now you can clearly see the difference without me even explaining it. The comparison is right in front of you. Nano Banana Pro is just operating on a completely different level. I don't even have to say anything more. The results are speaking for themselves. So now let's try something different. This time I am going to upload an image. I have uploaded this selfie right here. And my prompt for this test is transform this photo into a Renaissance oil painting style while keeping my facial features identical. Now why I am doing this? because this will help us understand how strong Nano Banana Pro is when it comes to character consistency. You already know that Nano Banana has always been famous for keeping faces accurate across different styles. So naturally, Nano Banana Pro should perform even better. So that's exactly what we're testing here. How consistent the face stays and how well the artistic style is transferred. So once again, I'm selecting Nano Banana Pro from here. All the settings remain the same and I'm just clicking on generate. And now look at the result. Absolutely mind-blowing. The character consistency is amazing. The face looks exactly like the original and the artistic renaissance vibe is applied beautifully. Let me show you a side-by-side comparison so you can actually see the accuracy. Here is the original image and here is the generated one. I mean, look at the similarity. The features match perfectly. Alright, now let's do the same test with Nano Banana. And look at this result. It feels like it just copied the same face and changed the color slightly. There is no real artistic style, no depth, no texture. It looks more like a quick filter than an actual transformation, right? Let's try Seedream now. I will select it and click on generate. And again, now we are near Nano Banana Pro. The face is off, the style is weak, and the overall finish doesn't even come close. Now let's check GPT Image. Here is the output. The face looks somewhat similar, but the propositions feel a bit heavy, almost solemn in some areas, and it doesn't really capture that Renaissance artistic vibe. It tries, but it doesn't land well. So that finishes our character consistency test, and I think the result is crystal clear. Nano Banana Pro is easily on top, no competition. Alright, now let's move on and try something else. So now let's try something a little more fun. This time, my prompt is create a phone iMessage screen capture of a conversation between Justin Bieber and P. Diddy. I want to see how realistically Nano Banana Pro can create a fake chat screenshot because this requires perfect spacing, clean UI elements, proper timestamps, and natural-looking message bubbles. Most AI models mess up in these areas. For this one, I'm changing the aspect ratio to 9:16 since the phone screen is vertical, and then I'm clicking on generate. And just look at this. Tell me honestly, does it look AI generated to you? The detailing is insane. The message bubbles look exactly like a real iMessage screen. The timestamps are perfectly placed. The spacing is natural, and the entire UI looks like an actual screenshot taken from someone's phone. This is the level of realism Nano Banana Pro is delivering, and this is exactly why people are talking about it. Alright, now let's check the same prompt on Nano Banana. Look at this output. The messages are all over the place. The alignment is broken. The spacing is inconsistent, and the screen doesn't look like a proper chat interface at all, right? You can immediately tell that it's not a real conversation. It doesn't give that clean iMessage feel. Now let's see what Seedream produces. Here is the result. It's not terrible, but it's also not good. It looks more like a generic screenshot style template rather than a real phone screen. And this again shows how big the gap is. Nano Banana Pro doesn't just generate images, it understands structure, realism, and how things are supposed to look in the real world. That kind of understanding is what sets it apart, especially when you pose it with tricky prompts like this. Alright, let's create something similar again and see how these models handle it. This time my prompt is make a screenshot of Donald Trump's Spotify hip-hop album page. This is a fun prompt, but it's also a tricky one because Spotify has a very specific design, clean layout, consistent fonts, the album header, the profile details, the tracklist structure. If the AI doesn't understand UI properly, the whole thing falls apart. So here is the result from Nano Banana Pro. Look at this, absolutely mind-blowing. The details are spot on. The spacing, the text placement, the album artwork style, the whole interface. Everything looks exactly like an actual Spotify page. If someone saw this casually, they would think it's a real screenshot from someone's phone, right? This is the level of precision Nano Banana Pro is delivering again and again. Now let's see what Nano Banana generated. And yeah, you can immediately see the difference. The text is mixed up. The layout is broken. The formatting doesn't match Spotify at all. And overall, it just doesn't look professional. You can clearly tell this is AI generated and not even close to the real UI design, right? Now it's Seedream's turn. Here is its output. It's just average, nothing impressive. It doesn't look like a real Spotify page. It feels more like a rough template with random adjustments rather than an actual UI screenshot. Alright, now let's take GPT Image. I will select GPT, click on generate, and yeah, GPT completely failed this one. The layout is off, the structure doesn't match at all, and the whole thing looks like a broken concept rather than a Spotify page. So even in this test, Nano Banana Pro clearly takes first place. both in realism and accuracy. It consistently understands UI better than any other model on this list. Alright, this time we're going to try something really interesting. So what I have done here is uploaded an image of a car, and the idea is simple. I want to see what's inside this car. To test that, I gave a prompt. Show me a deconstruction of what's inside this car with details. Now I'm selecting Nano Banana Pro and I'm hitting generate. And look at this. Let me zoom in so you can see it clearly. Just look at the detailing. The internal structure, the layering, the components, everything is laid out with such precision. It genuinely looks like a professional breakdown diagram. The clarity and the way it separates the parts visually is honestly amazing. Now let's check the same prompt on Nano Banana. And here is the output. It's not terrible, but it's not great either, somewhere in the middle. One good thing though, it actually labels all the parts. That's something Nano Banana Pro didn't do in this case. So that's a plus point for Nano Banana, even though the overall image quality isn't as refined. Now let's move to Seedream. Here is its result. Everything looks mixed up. The components aren't clear, the structure is confusing, and you cannot actually understand what's inside the car, right? It completely loses the purpose of the prompt. And now here is the output from GPT Image. It tried to create a breakdown style visualization, but again, it's nowhere close to Nano Banana Pro. The details aren't accurate, the composition feels off, and the internal view doesn't look convincing. So once again, Nano Banana Pro comes out on top in terms of clarity, structure, and actual usefulness. It genuinely understands the idea of deconstruction, while the other models either mix things up or oversimplify the result. Now let me show you the next prompt I tested on all these AI tools. The prompt was photorealistic Mortal Kombat character select screen with famous person. Super simple prompt, nothing sensitive, nothing complicated, just a fun creative idea. First, let's look at Nano Banana Pro's result. Honestly, this one did a really good job. The Mortal Kombat character select vibe was perfect. The lighting, the background, the overall atmosphere. And it actually recognized the famous person correctly. Pretty clean, solid output. Then I used the same prompt on the normal Nano Banana version. This one was okay, but not as sharp as the Pro version. The character selected style is there, but the details and realism just don't hit the same level. It's usable, but definitely not impressive like the Pro output. And then comes Seedream. This one went fully comedy mode. It gave the name Elon Musk to Donald Trump. Like forget Mortal Kombat, it couldn't even get the person right. And finally, when I tried the same prompt with GPT Image, it just refused completely. It flagged it as sensitive content and didn't generate anything at all. Alright, so now let's move to the next prompt. And this time my prompt was create a Time magazine cover with Person of the Year 2025 as the main headline, multiple article treasures along the sides, inside the AI Revolution page 24, Climate Solutions page 45, barcode, date, price tag and website URL all perfectly legible. With this test, I want to see how each AI handles multiple text layers, how well it manages text size, orientation, spacing, and whether it can actually create a realistic magazine layout without messing things up. So first, here is the result from Nano Banana Pro. Honestly, this one did a great job. All the text layers are neatly organized, the layout looks clean, and overall it gives that original Time magazine feel, right? Then we have the normal Nano Banana version. Here the text is not clear at all, the words are blurry, inconsistent, and the biggest problem is that the Time text got completely mixed up with 2025 text. Everything is overlapping, so the layout loses its realism. Now here is the output from Seedream. This one also messed up the text layers, the font clearly is poor, placement is random, and everything looks jumped together. Definitely not a proper magazine cover. And lastly, GPT Image. GPT did generate a cover, but it looks very old-fashioned, like a Time cover from the 1980s. The layout isn't modern, and it doesn't match the clean, sharp design of a 2025 magazine. Now let's move on to my next prompt. And this time I asked, create a chalkboard style cafe menu with 15 items, prices, descriptions for each item, dietary icons like vegan, gluten-free, and decorative chalk art maintaining an authentic handwritten look. So from this test, we want to understand how well each model handles price alignment, how they manage stylish handwritten text, and whether they can keep the formatting consistent across the whole menu. So first, here is the result from Nano Banana Pro. Oh my god, this is insanely sharp. Let me zoom in and show you. Just look at how cleanly it has aligned all the prices. Every item looks perfectly structured and the entire menu is written in a beautifully handwritten style, exactly like I asked for. Honestly, this one is amazing. Now here is the output from the regular Nano Banana, and here is the result from the Seedream. And finally, this is what GPT Image created. You can clearly see the difference between all of them. The quality, the alignment, the handwriting style, it's all very obvious when you compare them side by side. Alright, now my next prompt is create a detailed architectural floor plan for a 2-bedroom apartment with room labels, dancers in feet, door swing indicators, window placements, furniture outlines, and a legend explaining symbols. With this prompt, we are testing each model's technical accuracy. How well they handle precise measurements, proper architectural symbols, and clean floor plan formatting. So first, here is Nano Banana Pro. Honestly, this one is great. Every single element is properly labeled, the dancers are cleanly written, the door swings and window placements are exactly where they should be, and the entire plan looks professionally drafted. Very nice output. And here is the result from the regular Nano Banana. Now moving on to Seedream. And finally, this is the output from GPT Image. By the way, if you are still watching this video till this point, make sure to drop a comment and tell me which model's output you liked the most. This also helps me know who actually stays till the end of the video. Alright, my next prompt is create a welcome sign in 5 languages: English, Spanish, French, Japanese, Arabic, arranged artistically on a colorful background. This test helps us understand how well each model handles multilingual text rendering and overall international language capability. So let's take a look at Nano Banana Pro first. Just look at this. It has managed all 5 languages beautifully. The placement is clean, the typography is balanced, and even the background board is positioned in a very natural, visually appealing way. It clearly understands where a sign like this should appear. Now here is the output from the regular Nano Banana, and this is Seedream's result. And finally, here is what GPT Image generated. Now you can clearly see the difference between all of them. Nano Banana Pro once again beats every other model in terms of accuracy, clarity, and overall presentation. Alright, so after testing every model side by side, it's pretty clear how powerful Nano Banana Pro really is, especially when you pose it with complex prompts, text-heavy designs, technical layers, or creative concepts. If you want to try all of this yourself, then definitely check out Higgsfield. You can use Nano Banana Pro directly inside the platform and test every model just like I did. The link is in the description. Go explore it, experiment with your own prompts, and see the results firsthand. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.